please clap your hands for our first guest, Sebastian Seibt from BOSCH. Hallo Sebastian, herzlich willkommen. Alles gut?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm
You,
very well.
Okay.
So, the first hurdle we're already missing. It is on. That's me. Hopefully you can recognize me. What have you done with your magic finger? Ah. So once again, good morning from my side. My name is Sebastian. I'm from BOSCH, and on behalf of Robert Bosch and our whole entire crew, who's sitting down the stage on the first table, we are extremely proud to being this morning the first speaker here on stage. And I would like to on board together with me on a journey, and I will tell you some insights about the so-called evolution of buildings, starting from an easy entry level of buildings into how a modern building will look like today. What does it mean for you as a guest, as a passenger? What does it mean for the operator of these venues? And hopefully you enjoy the next upcoming 20-25 minutes. And if there are any questions, we are having outside our stand, we are having downstairs a breakout room for a workshop later this afternoon. Reach out to our guys, and we are more than happy to assist any questions in guidance, in consultants, in how we see things and how a BOSCH solution could look like to support you in your day-to-day business. Yes, that's me. Of course, there's always a business card. We love to play that game. I have plenty of business cards with me. As you prefer one, reach out to us, and then you can grab one. Let's start with the amazing world of an airport nowadays. As everybody knows, on the top left-hand side, that was how an airport looked like a couple of years ago. A plain field, where planes are approaching, where planes are leaving, and you as a passenger, you were allowed, let's say, to walk across from the terminal building towards the plane, more or less without any level of security. You all know, maybe as well better than me, than I do, how the transformation, how the evolution of an airport building is look like today. So an airport today looks now, as you can see on the right-hand side, more or less like a 5-star airport. Has nothing to do with the starting point of an airport. It's now a kind of a multi-purpose venue which having a lot of different areas of interest. Starting, of course, with security checkups. Then you expect to see a dedicated retail area in an airport. You are expecting to have a wellness area in an airport when you want to relax. There's a longer gate gap for your connecting flight. Or nowadays, maybe you recognize the picture on the right-hand side. From time to time, a 5-star airport has changed as well into a 5-star hotel. And that picture on the right-hand side got taken on the airport of lovely city of Munich a couple of weeks ago. Maybe you have heard that incident where the airport needed to cancel approximately 200 flights. What was the reason for that one? Because a so-called dirty person entered the secured area without being checked fully. So that means that a woman who entered security got not checked. They could recognize that on CCTV, but then that woman disappeared. So that is leading us already to the first challenge and to the first use case, which I want to give you a little bit more insight. Because now they recognize there was somebody who passed security without being 100% checked, but where is that person now? And therefore, without finding that person, the airport was not allowed to leave any plane leaving the airport. So they needed to close the whole operation of the airport for a couple of hours. That was leading for the cancellation of approximately 200 flights. So they are aiming now for solutions that they can see a person on a screen, they are clicking on the face of that person, and that technology in behind will be able to track that person throughout the whole CCTV system installed at the airport. So you can definitely see the full journey of that person without going into every single camera, without checking every single recording on that one. So that would have helped that airport in that case to save the cancellation of 200 flights. And by the way, when they found the lady already had entered the airport, the plane, and already left the Munich airport. The second major thing coming out of the airport is the so-called belly flopping. Belly flopping means how to make sure that if a plane is arriving at the airport, that all of the landing gear are permanently fixed and properly fixed. So they recognized there was an incident as well a couple of months ago where a plane, kind of crashed in inverted commas, landed on the belly, that is the belly, without having the landing gear out. That they recognized that there's no CCTV footage which shows exactly that incident. So therefore as well they are asking the industry to come up with clever video analytics solution to install cameras which can track approaching people. As you can imagine, therefore, as a very high powerful IVA needed to recognize a plane under every circumstances. Now the next challenge, how to change the slides. Let's have a short look into the next, what we call within BOSCH, what we call vertical, into the next vertical of railways and metro. In railway and metro, we can see one of the megatrends. One of the megatrends is the increased number of inhabitants and that they are moving and collecting themselves more together towards big and major cities. It's nice, but for the operator of railway companies or of train stations, that is bringing a lot of issues and a lot of hassle with them because the number of passengers per year are increasing and increasing on an annual basis. So therefore, that leads as well to a massive transformation from a single station, if I'm allowed to say so, over a kind of multi-purpose venue. Your expectation when you're traveling has completely changed. Nowadays, if you need to change trains, you're not quite happy if there are long queues, if you have no clue where to go, etc., etc., etc. So if we are talking to railway stations or metro companies, they are reporting us clearly to see we have 3 areas of interest coming out of that evolution of a building. First of all, as you would expect, it's increased security, it's the operations, and it's the passenger experience. Passenger experience means nothing else than how you are receiving your experience while being on a station. That is what I said at the beginning. If you need to change from platform to platform, you expect that somebody is telling you exactly where to go. When you're flying from a major airport, you can download the app from the airport and you will be guided from gate A to gate number B. That is what passengers are more and more expecting as well on a train station. For an operator of a railway station, it's as well key to understand how the passenger flow will look like, how passengers are moving to A to B to avoid obstacles, to avoid hurdles. Why they are doing that? To keep you happy. Because if they are recognizing there's a massive pathway from platform A to platform number B, but there's just a small stairway which you need to pass, then that is causing a so-called bottleneck. And that is disturbing the whole customer journey and makes you unhappy. And the word unhappy is quite a major thing in my presentation. You will hear that later on many times. And of course, if you are now looking into a modern built railway station, the whole entertainment concept is quite important. We can see a lot of modern new built railway stations now appearing onto the screen, which are equipped with a full shopping area and with a full entertainment concept like theaters, casinos, cinemas. Why they are doing that? They want to attract people inside the station to earn money. That's the whole answer on that one. If we Shortly, because down to the limited number of time, if I'm just allowed to skip operations, then I would focus on increased security. What are the major sub-trends of that third pillar? Wayside surveillance is becoming more and more critical and crucial as well for railway companies. They are asking for CCTV-based solutions who are absolutely secure to run 24/7 under every single weather circumstance. Today outside it's quite sunny, but potentially that will change. So they're expecting the solution to work and to come up with a brilliant picture as well, while it's snowy, foggy, rainy, bright, dark, whatever. Level crossing, always a big topic. When a road is crossing the railway station, a railway track, big issues. Or tunnel surveillance. They need to know what is ongoing in a tunnel to being able to react on short notice if there's anything. When we are looking into the next vertical, which we call within Bosch entertainment, which means stadia, we can see two major trends are ongoing in the world of stadia. First of all, match days. That means how to ensure to make the most out of a match day. And you know, if you think about football stadium, 99% I would expect the answer would be football, of course. So that means the first trend, how to ensure to make the most out of the match day. If you are there, how to generate the maximum amount of money out of the spectators who are there. On average, we have approximately 25 match days a year. 25. That means, according to simple mathematics, there are 340 days in a stadium, which they call non-match day. When I was flying into lovely Ljubljana yesterday, I read the news and I saw a very impressive figure regarding the new stadium from Tottenham Hotspurs. Maybe you've seen it as well. The estimated cost for that venue has now increased from starting point 400 million to now 1.1 billion euro. Just imagine if you would be able to set up a venue for a cost of 1.1 billion. I presume 100% of you would have a direct interest to know about the return of investment. So that means you should take into consideration at the beginning, of course, to generate revenue, maximum revenue on so-called match day, but you just have 25 matches a year, on average, to make sure to make the most out of it, of the whole venue as well on these 340 non-match days. If I'm allowed to make a short sidestep into Tottenham, maybe you have heard that as well. They are operating the stadium while having two separate pitches. And the whole stadium construction will be flexible to host these two different pitches. That means they have a separate pitch for football, and underneath they have an artificial turf just for hosting NHL matches. If you know a little bit the size dimensions of different pitches of different sports, football pitch is a little bit smaller than the NHL pitch. So therefore they need to have as well a whole construction and a solution in place how to shift back the lower tiers of the stands when they are hosting NHL matches. But once again, why they are doing that? To have more events on these so-called non-match days to earn more money. That's quite easy. If we are talking about match days, the expectation on the trend is the highest level of security. Of course, if you are going to an event, you expect to be 100% safe and secure. We heard from the airport. I had a funny discussion with the guy from Israel this morning, Shalom. Landing and leaving Tel Aviv airport is always a challenge. They have very nice level of securities over there. At the end of the day, you feel 100% secure, but it will take you a long time to bypass all these different layers and levels of security. So that means if you want to go to a football match, you don't want to spend 3 hours prior to the kickoff in just going through all these levels of securities just for the sake of feeling secure at the end of the day. So there, on the one hand side, you can see the highest level of security, and on the right hand side, you expect more or less a barrier-free access without queuing. Because the biggest enemy of these 25 match days is your private living room. You can stay at home, you can watch the match on a massive screen in 4K, you have Dolby Surround in, in your living room, we have hopefully free access into the fridge, where you can grab a chilled bottle of beer. There are no queues in front of the toilet. If there's a special action going onto the pitch, you can see replays and replays and replays. So therefore you can see that the stadium really needs to think about what they are doing and what they are able to add additional to generate that atmosphere. In a nutshell, why is the stadium doing that? It's quite easy to answer. To have happy people. Because only if you are happy, you're coming back. They want you not only to come back, but as well to stay longer in the stadium. And at the end of the day, and that's the whole magic in behind, to consume more. That means to earn more money. But, that's what I said, match day only happen on 25 days a year. What is important to know for 340 non-match days? Therefore, a stadium is aiming to have as flexible as possible solutions already built in from the scratch. That means big trend for non-match days is how to save energy on a stadium. How to have flexible systems and solutions installed in my stadium in order to reduce energy costs. Just as an example, if I'm allowed to make a little bit dive into that one, would be great to have an integrated solution, let's say, of the lighting concept, together with the AC, with the heating system, and with the cleaning system of a stadium. That means the lighting system can give you the information, was there anybody in my meeting room ABC over the duration of the whole day? Because there could be a motion sensor built into the light bulb. If there would be nobody there, then there's information going over to the cleaning system that the cleaners don't need to clean up the room to save cost, time and money. Flexible solutions directly onto the pitch. That is what we have heard from Tottenham Hotspurs. We have some flexible pitch solutions which are called Stadia pitch. So we can easily divide the whole pitch into smaller pieces and drive them out individually. Why we are doing that, or why a stadium wants to do that? The highest asset of a stadium is the football pitch itself. There's a lot of witchcraft and a lot of scientists' information coming out of that pitch. If you want to hear more about it, reach out to the stand. I'm more than happy in talking 2.5 hours just about that pitch. So, and therefore, a flexible solution which enables the stadium operator to roll out the pitch, enables them to bring all additional stuff inside the stadium, to host concerts, to host major food events, to host exhibitions directly onto the pitch, to host additional shows like, for instance, a Monster Jam drug show, as an example. If we are leaving now the amazing world of stadia, we are entering now the amazing world of retail areas. As well on the left-hand side, that's a typical picture. I guess it's from Germany, but I presume 60, 80 years ago, it looks more or less all across Europe the same. And nowadays, on the right-hand side, you can see a slightly different picture. That means shops are massively transferring as well from a goods provider into an experience seller. Just think about your experience when you're entering a supermarket. When you're entering a supermarket, you can always see fruit and vegetables directly located at the entrance. Why? These two products are the synonym of being fresh and healthy. And as the operator of a supermarket, you want to bring that message across that all of my products are giving you a good feeling, health, making you happy. And therefore, they need to have additional information, of course, to come up with that whole entire concept. For instance, nowadays, it's key to understand the flow of guests in a retail store. They need to understand the impact, let's say, of so-called shop stoppers. What will happen if we are placing, let's say, a product ABC on a position XYZ? What is the consequence of my passenger flow in the retail store? They need to know exactly how many guests are currently in my shop. How are they moving? What is the duration? How long are they staying? That is what we learned from Stadia. They want the guests to come back, and they want the guests to stay longer in a stadium and as well in a retail store. Because in a store, if you're staying longer, there's a high chance that you will consume definitely more. And therefore, of course, clever retail analytics are key to operate and run a retail store nowadays. And why? Of course, at the end of the day, to optimize the shop concept, to achieve, once again, happy customers who are coming back, who are staying longer and consuming more. Last but not least, I would slightly touch on the vertical which we call manufacturing. Manufacturing, on the left-hand side, very old-fashioned car manufacturer. Everybody knows these type of pictures. And on the right-hand side, how does it look like nowadays? When we are talking to the guys from the manufacturing industry, they are telling us there's a massive trend towards fully integrated safety and security solutions for the whole area, for the whole venue. First of all, starting from the outside perspective, perimeter control. They need to protect the outside fence to avoid that guys are coming from the outside world entering the building without being seen. Access control. They cannot avoid it. Everybody is staying outside because they have to bring some guys inside as well, which they are allowing the access. They need to have a dedicated access control system there in the whole plant area to make sure that you are able to enter dedicated areas only where you have access to have the right to access the area. And last but not least, the so-called trend business continuity. As you know, a car manufacturer, you would expect to have a massive warehouse in behind to store all these single parts, but that is nowadays not the case. That is what they call Kanban or just in time. Their suppliers are delivering every single part on time towards the belt. If that whole chain of transportation will break down, they will lose a lot of money, and therefore business continuity is quite key. So they are asking, or they are aiming for solutions, as an example, to identify fire on a very early stage. Nowadays, you will have some smoke detectors attached to the ceiling. Just imagine if you have a high ceiling and the fire starts on the floor. It will take an awful long time towards the smoke, or for the smoke, to reach the ceiling. So therefore, a solution is key for them to identify the fire quite easy, quite early and fast, and give them a lot of time to react and to ensure that business continuity. So therefore, there is a solution on the market to identify a fire by using some cameras, which gives you the second layer of security. First of all, the information, there's a fire alarm. In combination with the trigger, you can double check on the screen what is ongoing. That is bringing me to the end of today's short journey across the evolution of buildings. In a nutshell, we saw, we are seeing, and we will see a massive evolution of buildings, which are bringing us a lot of challenges, excuse me, and a lot of opportunities towards our overall business. We believe product itself is becoming less and less important. If you're comparing a camera with a camera, it's more or less the same. But tailor-made solutions based on a full understanding of the vertical, that is key to deliver and to serve the needs of our joint clients. And if you want to see, hear and learn more about our tailor-made solutions per vertical, I would be happy to talk to you guys outside in the hall. There's a stand, and as mentioned at the beginning, downstairs we have a workout, a workshop area where we are hosting a nice workshop around the integration of access system, intrusion and CCTV. I guess it's running from 3 onwards and a whole, and I would be quite happy to see you there. Thanks for your interest and have a nice day. Thank you.